Okay, is it better now? I'll just move, get this out of the way. Okay. Yep. Okay, so we're just gonna go like this. So, how is everybody doing? Welcome to another Make It Happen Monday. I am so excited about today's live because I missed it last week and I did not feel good about it. I did not feel good about it at all. So I really wanted to make sure I jump on live this week and talk a little bit about the Melbourne market. Apparently, it's been a hot topic in the investment space, and people are talking about to invest in Victoria or not. What should they do? Is this a good market to invest in with all those land taxes, all those extra expenses, which are actually bleeding investors away? That's is that good? Not what are the numbers? So I won't be going into all the numbers, but I really wanted to talk a little bit in the overview of what's happening in the Melbourne market. How is the Melbourne metro versus the regional areas performing, and what should you do? Should you invest in metro? Should you invest in regional, or should you just leave Victoria out of the way? So yeah, but before that, I want if anybody who is going to watch this live, who's watching this live, give me a hashtag live so that I know on if you're gonna watch it as a replay or you are watching it as a replay. I'm talking in future sense. If you're watching it a replay, give me a hashtag replay and please let me know what do you guys think about the Victoria market as an investment. What do you think about investment as a whole? And there are people who are taking investment as a short-term play or short-term game and wanted to make those quick bucks and move away. I don't know how does that work because real estate is a long-term game, and every multimillionaire, billionaire that you have seen who's made money from real estate, you're gonna hear this simple thing: real estate is a long-term game. So we gotta play it like that. We gotta play it like it's a long-term game, and being having that look, it's just off topic real estate. I believe like if even your mindset and your thinking is not long term, I think you cannot be successful and you cannot thrive in whatever you're doing. Having that being short sighted is a disaster. Is a disaster. So make sure you are not short sighted. Make sure that you plan ahead. Make sure you have 5 years, 10 years of plan. And in real estate as well, it is a 10 years and plan. You can't just double your money. It's not lottery, it's not tax lotto, it's not something that you're gonna jump in, double your money and get out. You gotta be patient. Patience is the key here, guys. And for everybody who's joining in, let me know, what do you think about the Melbourne market? What do you think about the Victoria market? What do you think about investing in Victoria? Or let me rephrase it. What do you think about what states should we invest in, or should the investors go in, where there are more returns, where there is more subtle growth, not subtle growth, but more, it's settled more. Where can you see the market is more settled now? Let me know in the comments below. Tell me what do you think, instead of me ranting again and again. But I really wanted to talk about one thing, and that is the Melbourne regional versus the metro area. What are the performance comparisons, rental yields, market cycles, and which area you should basically avoid? So do do not do not buy a property until you watch this. Oh my god, I love that hook. Do not watch the property until you do not buy a property until you watch this, until you listen to this. Because if you look at the performance comparison of Melbourne versus the regional areas, Melbourne has had a weak capital growth over the last few years, with only what 0.2% in the past year and 31% in the overall 7 years. However, in the past one decade, Melbourne has grown almost 63.8%. Whereas if we look at the regional areas, the regional has outperformed Melbourne with a 76.9% growth in 7 years and drastic 95.3% growth in the last decade. So regional is growing, and apart from all the other key data, the number one reason is now affordability and the immigration moving into regional areas. The government is encouraging and motivating the immigrants to move into regional areas so that they can grow all those outer regions as well, instead of everybody coming into all the big cities like Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. With Melbourne is already dominating and is already ahead of the game in the population growth from Sydney, which is good and bad. Look, there are always pros and cons, but this is what's been happening. And regional has been growing drastically. Even if you look at the rental yields, Melbourne's rental yields are currently at approx 3.4% and is growing. It's improving to grow. Whereas regional, it's around somewhere between 4.4 to 5%. The basically the rental growth over the 10 years also shows that regional Victoria grew at 65.2%, while Melbourne just around 50%. So it's not big of a difference, it's 15% difference, but it is a lot in numbers. So regional is growing, whether it's capital growth or rental. And a lot of the investors are moving their game plan, moving their arrows to the regional areas. It's been crazy. Look, if we look at the budgets, the numbers, regional Victoria offers more affordable options to investors with prices ranging between 450 and 750, where people with not a big affordability, people investors who cannot buy expensive real estate, expensive properties are moving into regional areas. Whereas Melbourne, just around 8 or 14 regions have a median price of 700,000, which is limiting choices for budget conscious buyers. So, look, there are a lot of other things that shows a lot of other data that shows that the regional is growing way more than Melbourne, and there's still it actually recently happened with me. A investor came to us, everything was good, they were happy with the strategy, they were happy with everything else, they were happy with the results, but the only condition, only caveat they had was they do not want to invest in regional areas. And most of the time, it's crazy, most of the time they don't even have an answer. They do not have an answer, not even answer, they don't not have a reason that why do you not want to go to regional areas, why don't you want to buy in the regional suburbs? And they're like, look, we just don't. That is the kind of answer I get most of the time, like, look, we just do not want to go in regional. But why? If there is more rental, the rental yield growth is more, the capital growth is more, the areas are growing, you're getting better returns in those investments, then why? What is the reason of investment when numbers don't matter to you? But look, at the same time, they're not all the regional areas are performing better. If I give you an example of, let's say, Ballarat is currently underperforming with a lot of even lands getting lower valuations from the lenders. We have a 4.9% decline in the last 12 months, and there are a lot of other negative indicators, which include days on market and high building approvals, which looks like the market is weakening or has weakened. Whereas Bendigo in the regional Victoria shows signs of stabilization, of a recovery and growth in near future. So there are even areas where there is good growth and where there is lower growth, or even it's in minus. So we got to look at the areas accordingly and choose wisely. It all depends on your strategy, what you want to do, where do you want to go. Does numbers are the only thing you're looking at, or is there your own emotions involved in it? Man, I've been ranting, but look, I really want to give this before I finish this live off is that, as I say always, look, cash flow is king, but at the same time, do not get emotionally involved in any investment. It is an investment, it is a numbers game, and look at the numbers. If the numbers make sense, move ahead. If the numbers don't make sense, go to somewhere else. That's all what matters in investment. And at the same time, if you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and not taking action, nothing's going to happen. There were people who were waiting 2 years ago, they are still waiting because they wanted the market to crash before they buy. The crash never came and they never bought. So, if you want to win, you got to get in the game. If you're not getting in the game, you're not winning, you're losing. You're automatically losing. So get in the game. I know it's tough. You get skeptical. You're like, look, what if it doesn't work out? What if this doesn't happen? What if the property doesn't grow? What if this? What if that? But at the same time, if you're not getting in the game, it's not even what if. You are not winning. That's about it. So get your numbers right. Get yourself some guts, I would say in good words, and move ahead. Buy your investment that you've been thinking about, get into the market and build your wealth, because at the same time, look, at the end it's all about building wealth, building your future, your financial future. All these investments, all these properties, all these, even if you're investing in shares or whatever, look, you're not doing that to flex that I've got this, I've got that. Nah, it doesn't matter. It's all about building wealth. It's all about building your financial future. It's all about building your coming generation's financial future. So it's all about that. If you're not building that, then nothing else matters. So actually, I'll just leave it on that. Look, think about it, think about your future, and get in the game to win the game. Till then, have a great week. I'll see you next week on another Make It Happen Monday, and crush it this week. But get in the game to win the game. Otherwise, you're automatically losing.